What was the first album you ever bought and loved?
I remember, does it have to specifically be bought? I remember getting the soundtrack to Flash Gordon by Queen as a birthday present, although I'm pretty sure I didn't buy it. I think I've had this question before, and I think I have trouble actually remembering the first record I bought. But I love that because I've always loved science fiction, and I don't know that the music was so good on the Flash Gordon soundtrack, but it was just fantastic to even just the ability to sort of replay the music from the cinema, because I'm from the age, I mean, I was a kid when we didn't even have video cassettes, you understand, so the ability to play music from the film. I've got this real memory of spending money on Knife by Aztec Camera on pre-recorded cassette, which sounds like quite a leap from Queen, Flash Gordon soundtrack, to Aztec Camera. And it might be untrue, but I do remember that being an early purchase where it was my own money and I was very excited that I brought it. I might have forgotten, I think I can remember the first single I brought, but not the first album.
What's the first single?
So now you're going to say it.
Sorry.
Duran, maybe? I really like Duran. I really like the Thompson Twins. It's not like me, I'm trying to think of something cool. I can list loads of early embarrassing records I got. I really like the Thompson Twins. I might have been Thompson Twins. I remember buying Thompson Twins sandwich.
Cool.
No, not cool.
Well, you've been like playing music as you know, Hefner and secondary modern since like, was it '95?
Well, no, I was playing for a long time before I released a record, so longer than that. You know, it would have been. I think I was playing gigs under the name Hefner from perhaps '94 even. Then I would have been doing gigs for a good 2 or 3 years before that.
And so, how much has the music? I don't like saying it, but like the music industry and the music scene, the live scene, changed?
Completely, but not as much as it's going to either.
What kind of things have changed, do you think?
Just the way people purchase it, really. I mean, the internet and digital distribution has changed it, and I still think it's probably too early to ascertain what it means for anyone. I think it's easy to say now that it's bad for the artist and good for the consumer, but I still don't think this has played out fully yet. And there's some aspects of my career that wouldn't be possible if it wasn't for the internet. So I've lived through the transition. It's just really hard to say. There's certain things like with mail order and having a website where I think that in another age I would have had to have got a day job by now. But then on the other hand, I'm earning less than I ever have before. But I think that in my lifetime and in your lifetime, I mean, there might be no physical product and we'd have to rethink it again. So I think it's changed a lot, but I'm wary that the change hasn't finished yet.
So briefly, could you explain what the idea of January songs is?
The idea is just to see if I could write a song every day in January. So every day in January I wake up and I have no idea of what the song is I'm going to write, and I try and write a song in that day. But actually, in truth, I knew that I could do that, because anybody could do that. Like if I asked you to write a story or a poem every day, you could write a story or a poem every day. It's not really whether you could do one, it's whether it's what they're like, or whether they're any good, or if they're any good really. It's just if they're interesting, or if something about doing 31 in a row makes something interesting happen. So it's about, and it's also about the fact that I get down when I'm not making music, but I also get down when I'm involved in the music industry. So it's like a dichotomy. So sometimes it makes me scared of doing music because it involves business. So it's for me, purely personally, it was about me. I can do as much music as I like and not worry about the money I'm making. And indeed, I've lost not a lot, but a bit of money doing it so far. But it feels wonderful to lose the money because I've had such a good time.
Yeah. When did you come up with the idea of this?
There was the seed of the idea about June or July, and I was originally looking at October or September. I think September was a particularly interesting month in that I had some very odd shows in September. I played a show in the Inner Hebrides on the Isle of Egg, and I played a show in an observatory, and so I thought that was a very interesting month. But I realised with the travel it would be so hard. And the idea came about really because I was introduced to a bookbinder who said, would you be interested in doing a book? So the original idea was much more about the book that I'm writing songs in. The original idea was to do a book of songs. But that idea has maybe been overtaken a bit, and in fact the book now is just mainly me scribbling words out. But the idea was like a tune a day. The idea was that it would be sort of like a tuition book, and I would teach someone how to play guitar. So the first song would be G, the second would be G, C, and I would teach chords, but that got lost somehow.
Okay, what preparations do you have to do before you undergone this project?
Well, kind of none. In an artistic sense, and I really wanted it to be that I woke up on January 1st and I was like, how do I do this? Technically, a few things. I kind of brought a little video camera and a little digital recorder and just a few bits of hardware that I thought I would need. I kind of had this idea that more of it would be.
Oh, sorry. Would you start moving downstairs?
When we've done this, we'll be. So the idea, yes, just a few technical things.
What about logistically, like?
The idea, sorry, I know what I was going to say. The idea would be that I could carry it in my bag, that it would be more lo-fi, and that whatever was in my bag I could make a song on, which I've needed maybe only 4 of the days, but today would be fun.
Do you have to organise people you can collaborate with? Like
yeah, so about October, maybe November, I sent an email around to musicians that I knew to try and get the diary blocked in, and then perhaps in December, perhaps making it more open to everyone else. So yeah, a little bit of preparation. But in terms of what I expected the songs to be, and in terms of lyrics or titles, almost nothing.
In your video diary, you talked about the theme of the album being kind of hiding away.
Yes.
Is this a kind of reflection of your personal state of mind while recording it, or is it more coincidental, or maybe?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. I don't really like travelling. I don't like going out as much as I should. I like staying in. I think it's really good. Staying in, there's loads of books, there's loads of really good films. I understand that some people have agoraphobia and it's completely debilitating, and I know that I don't have it in that way, but I do have it a bit, and sort of my reluctance to do live shows is to do with that, and I sometimes think that January Songs is maybe a little bit of a caricature of myself, and that I've found a way to stay away in rooms but make it reach loads of people. It's like I found a new way to do a gig and that I don't have to go out and see people. But that's ridiculous because when I do a gig I really enjoy myself. But yeah, a little bit, that's what I'm like.
Has this project made you approach songwriting differently than you would have done previously?
Well, once again, it's something that I have sort of said in one of the diaries, but just this idea that we always are sceptical or suspicious of the first idea we have. So almost like if you were writing down a question for this interview, you might have written the first question, and you already have a suspicion because like good work is supposed to come from brainstorming and then editing down. The idea that you do a lot of work and edit it down. And that's normally how I work. Normally what I do when I write a song is I write lots and pages of lyrics and then edit them down. I feel that my strength, if I have any, is being a good editor. And this is kind of different really. You almost have to do the editing as you go. So firstly, that makes you, it's a bit like the difference between drawing in pencil or drawing in ink. If you draw in pencil, you know you can rub it out, but if you're drawing in ink, you make a more definite line. So it's a bit like that. But also it's just purely some days when it's been so rushed, you just like write something down and you think, well, that's what I'll use. And sometimes that's obviously a mistake, and that's obviously a slapdash approach, but maybe it isn't always a slapdash approach. Maybe sometimes it is good to say, I'll write a poem in the next half hour, and at the end of half hour it's finished, because it gives you a certain discipline within the moment of creativity.
An immediacy behind it.
Well, there's immediacy, but also what I'm suggesting is that you edit within the moment, that you're actually editing as you write it down. You pause and write something down better, because you're not relying on the later editing process. Because normally when we write down, we're just writing down loads of stuff and then we'll edit it. I'm saying that when you know there isn't time to edit, then maybe you write down something more worthwhile.
What's been the most enjoyable part, and what's been the least enjoyable part?
The most enjoyable part has been when something takes you by surprise. So I think the day with Elizabeth Morris from Hello Darling was one of the favourite days, because I wrote the song and I thought the song was like a joke song. And when I was recording it, I wasn't really watching Liz or listening to her because I was so preoccupied with the technical aspect. And then when she went and I saw the video footage of her singing it and heard her vocal, I realised that we'd created something quite emotive. And so that completely took me by surprise. So likewise, what else? The day with the Spanish band where we did a song about libraries. I mean, that was really that I'd done the song by 11 AM and then they completely dismantled it. So anything that took me by surprise was good. I say the worst part of it is the technical side. I'm just someone that kicks things when they don't work. I'm someone that swears. And if I'd done it again, I would have tried really hard to have found an assistant, even if it meant paying them. But to have had some kind of IT assistant that would have taken the content and uploaded it and just put it into some sort of order. Because I would say almost like sometimes 4 to 5 hours of a day is spent technically getting the material together and getting it online, so I would say that's the worst part.
As it's now coming to an end, how do you feel it's gone and where do you see it?
I think it's been really good. I don't think it's set the world on fire. I don't think I've got 2,000 more people into me. I don't think it's broke any new ground, and I don't think that it's progressed me as an artist, but I do think that the people that liked me like me more, and I do think that the project as a whole will be some people's favourite thing I've done, and it might be mine. It's just too soon for me to say, but I think for some people it'll be like, well, that was the best thing he did. I do think it is quite a statement. I'm quite capable of being self-deprecating, but I think as a whole the thing is quite interesting. As I say, it doesn't bear close scrutiny, and I think that I'm not sure how many truly good songs there were. I don't know. 5 or 6 maybe? I don't know.
I really like the lines.
When I say 5 or 6, I mean that I think I've only written 7 or 8 or 9. I don't know. I don't know how many good. I mean, it's not for me to say, is it? What do you think's good?
Oh, the secrets. I can't think secrets.
Oh, okay, with the a cappella one. Well, no, that's a highlight as well, because that was like, I've never done an a cappella song. So there was like the last few days have been about me thinking, what have I never done? And thinking of a way to do something I've never done.